Okay. Hey guys. Um, I want to try and go through combining forms as close to how we would do it in the classroom as possible. Of course, you guys can't give me any feedback as to what you see when you look at the forms. But I kind of went through them and I'm looking at what I see, and hopefully that will help you remember. Now, there's a lot of them that there's really nothing to help us remember, and so especially with the way things are winding up so quickly, you will not be responsible for a lot of those. But I want you to be able to recognize some of them and maybe understand why some words are used the way they are. Okay. So this first one, of course, um, means anus. This one is pretty easy also. Appendix. This one, I don't believe we went over all of the specific muscles. I think that was kind of a crazy time with some stuff that was going on. And one of the muscles is actually called the buccinator, and it goes over the cheek. Okay. And so that just means cheek. Um, Seco means you should be able to see the word cecum, vocab term there for you. Okay. When you see this, or when I see this, I think of celiac disease. Okay. Knowing that IAC means pertaining to. And so it's pertaining to the belly, the abdomen. So when I see that, I think of the belly, abdomen, but I think of celiac disease in that, my belly doesn't necessarily, I can't necessarily eat just anything. Okay. I have to stay away from all that stuff with gluten in it. Otherwise, I get a belly ache or abdominal issues. So that's what I think of when I see that one. Okay. This one, I wish I had something for you, but I don't. It just means lip. Okay. This one, actually, this one and the next one both. Okay. When we see this, it's gall or bile. Okay. And then I'm going to fast forward a second here to this one. So if the first part of that means gall or bile, and the last part we know means bladder. Okay, so all of it together means gallbladder. Okay. I had a cholecystectomy, which was just removal of the gallbladder. Okay. This one, the same thing. Okay. We see this meaning gall or bile. This to me a little bit kind of makes me think of duct. And so it's just that common bile duct. Okay, this one, of course, kind of looks like colon, along with the next one. Actually, your notes do not match my PowerPoint. So this one, and then also the one that's colono is also colon. Okay, when we see this, I think dentist. Hopefully, you do too. And so if we think dentist, the IST meaning specialist, um, we can understand that denti means tooth. Okay, this means duodenum. Entero is, I think we've learned this one before, but it's intestines. Okay, that one's a pretty easy one. Esophagus. This one, when we see this, or when I see this, I think facial, and that IAL, of course, means pertaining to, and so this means face, pertaining to the face. Okay. When I see gastro, I think gastric bypass. Okay, gastro meaning stomach. And I think that's an old term. I think we've used that one for quite a while. Okay. This one I think of gingivitis. Okay. And if we have that itis at the end, of course, that means inflammation of. And so gingivitis is just simply inflammation of the gums. Okay. Glosso, I think we've learned this one too, meaning tongue. I know we're familiar with this one. Might kind of flash us back a little bit, but I think we all can remember that one. Ilio, meaning ileum. Um, jejunum. Some of these are pretty easy once you know the vocab terms. Okay, this one just means lip. Okay, lapro, we should think of laparoscopy. Okay, which is just a scope of the abdomen. So even like my gallbladder fell in the laparoscopy category, and then it was specifically the removal of the gallbladder after that. Okay. This one I think of lingual, okay, or bilingual, and so it's actually tongue, not language, but I think that helps a little bit if we think of that bilingual or lingual. Okay, this of course is the lower jaw, or like we call it, the mandible. Okay, odonto. This is one where I see orthodontist. Okay, and we talked about that ortho means straight, ist means um, specialist or one who. And so when we put all that together, we get um, specialist of straight teeth, basically. Okay, which makes sense with what an orthodontist does. Okay. When we see oro, we should think, I think oral, which of course means pertaining to the mouth. A lot of these are pretty simple, hopefully for you. The substances and the suffixes are a little bit more difficult, but a lot of these combining forms are pretty straightforward. Okay, this one is palate. Whether we're talking about the hard palate in the roof of your mouth or the soft palate that's a little bit further back in the roof of your mouth. Okay. When I see this, I think pancreatic, which of course I think of pancreatic cancer, and I think cancer pertaining to the pancreas. Okay, that of course is peritoneum. If we think of or we see this one, we should think throat. Okay, when I see procto, I think of proctologist. And what does a proctologist do? It is a doctor of the lower half, the very bottom of the digestive tract with the anus and the rectum. Okay, this is pyloric sphincter, which was a vocab word that we just took off the list for practical purposes of trying to get through this chapter a little bit more quickly. Okay, so don't stress about that one too much. Recto, of course, rectum. This one, again, I wish I had something to help you with it. Maybe you'll have a way yourself that helps you remember, but it's just salivary gland. Of course, sigmoid colon. Okay, that one's one that's not too bad. Stomato. Okay, this one is mouth. Um, and then we have uvulo, which just means uvula. The kind of teardrop shaped um, tissue in the back of your mouth. Okay, the rest of these are a little bit more difficult. hopefully, well, really, I think most of them you'll just is kind of something you'll just have to memorize. Okay, this one is starch. Billy, when we see that, we think bilirubin. Okay, so gall or bile. And then this one is bilirubin. This one, of course, is a little bit of a review, gall or more bile. This one is actually hydrochloric acid, okay, which is used in the or is part of the digestive system in the breakdown of foods. But it's again, that's a vocab word that we pulled out and we're not going to cover right now. This is one that we're pretty familiar with, glucose, of course, sugar. And then we have glyco, which is also sugar. Glycogen, then, of course, this one is we should see it and we should think lipid. And so lipids are fats. Stone. I think most of us look at that and think protein. That pio is pus. And if you remember back from the combining forms, we had um, the one that was salivary gland, which is very close. So if you see that and can associate saliva. That is also another term for fat. Then we get into suffixes. Okay, there's just 4 suffixes. Ace, that is an enzyme. Okay, we're pretty familiar with that, of course, from our science classes and talking about enzymes. Defecation or elimination of waste. Abnormal condition. I think that maybe is one that we've gone over for a while as well. And then we have meal. Okay, that gets us through chapter 5. That, of course, with only having 3 days remaining of our distance learning, that is where we're going to stop for the year. And so we're going to do next week, we're going to do a review activity, kind of looking at a lot of different combining forms from this semester and maybe a few from last semester, but certainly not using it as a punishment or a way to bring your grade down. I just want to kind of be able to have something to assess and say, oh, yes, I learned a lot of combining forms from this, or I didn't really retain as many as I was hoping to. Okay, so definitely not going to be used to bring your grade down or anything like that. It's gonna kind of be a final, but it's not will not bring your grade down. So don't stress about it. Okay, I just want to kind of see where we're at and see what we've retained from the year, and then Wednesday, or sorry, that will be on Monday. Then Tuesday, we're going to have kind of the same thing with vocab. Again, will not bring your grade down, not using it to punish you if you don't ace it. I just want to kind of take it, see where we're at, see what we have retained. This has been a totally new way for learning for you guys. It's been a new way for me to teach. It's been difficult because I've just done the little assessments, but I still can't really tell what you're grasping and what you're not. So I just want to use it to see what we've retained. Will not punish you, will not use it against you with your grade I wanna see your grades, um, as high as we can get them as well, okay? And then Wednesday, we'll have kind of a little wrap-up activity, and that'll be it. Um, Please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions, concerns, okay? Don't stress about these upcoming kind of assessment review activities. They're not intended to stress you out. So please don't stress about them. I just want to let you know that that's kind of what's coming next week. Um, I hope you all have a great weekend and I will talk to you soon.